So today we're going all the way to Johannesburg to celebrate my grandmother's 78th birthday. And that made me think, we could use this generational gathering to really talk about how parents are supposed to support their children's dreams, what impact generations have on the duration. What impact generations have on the what the hell? No, I just want to say generations twice, but the second. What impact the first generation has on the second generation, what impact the second generation has on the next, and so forth. So, let's talk about it.
I've been knocked down too much to knock it back up, and I bring the house down whenever the odds are stacked up against me. I know no weapon formed shall prosper. It's tempting to quit now, but I'm refusing the
So before this video officially begins, a tragic thing happened yesterday. A friend of mine's dad passed away, and for the sake of his privacy and the privacy of his family, I will not be naming him. It's a dear friend of mine, and this is something that really hit us hard, and it was due to COVID-19. It's gotten so real and so close to us, but we decided on the topic of the video we were going to film today before this news came through to us, and we really feel like it's just more enforcing the idea of talking about what impact our parents have on us, especially in the time that we have with them. I just wanted to mention that to make clear that I really think God is trying to communicate something, and we ask that you pay attention to what that is so that you don't miss it. But anyway, hope you enjoy the video. So as a kid, I've always wanted to be really unique, even from a young age. So in the first grade, we had career day, and all the kids would come and speak on stage to all the parents about what they want to be when they grow up. And the one kid would get on stage and be like, I want to be a doctor and I want to save millions of lives. And the other kid comes up and says, I want to be a firefighter, putting my life on the line for others. My ass comes up and I walk onto the stage speaking from the heart and tell people I want to be a pizza man because I love watching them make pizza perfect pizzas at Pizza Perfect. At the end of the day, I didn't become a pizza man, but the cool thing is my parents were behind that because they were always pushing me to embrace my passions, embrace what I love to do. I got into arts and stuff properly when I was 14, and this developed more and more into the direction of script writing and eventually videography. And they've always been behind me with that, always supporting me in that, and always telling me that yes, do what you love, but make sure that it falls in line with your purpose. So it's not just a frivolous doing what you love, it specifically falls in line with how does this serve who you are supposed to be. And those two foundations are the thing that I wish for every kid, and that I'm super grateful I had. One, that my parents supported me in what my passion was and what I loved doing, and two, that they constantly pointed me in the direction of what is God telling you to do? Do that, fulfill your purpose. Those two things made who I am, and I'm eternally grateful for it.
Growing up, personally, I was influenced by the environment and the people around them. So because of the environment I was in, the situation I was in, I wanted to be somebody that could fix that quickly. But in time, I realized that I wanted to go study PR, and then I know for a fact that my parents have no idea what it's about. And to this day, they still ask me, like, what is it that you do again? As much as they don't understand what it's about or what is it that I do, they are supportive of it. Fast forward to now with Live Record, I mean, this is something that is solely based on faith. We are taking this step to do something that's out of our comfort zone, and definitely our parents' comfort zone, especially, well, my parents' comfort zone. It is tough because they also want to, like, okay, what is happening, how is this happening, and how can we help? This means so much to us, and they're being supportive of that. There is uncertainty from them, but they're so happy and excited to be in the know and be part of the whole thing. They're not forcing me to do something that I don't want to do.
So Suella and I have briefly talked about what impact our parents have had in our lives. I say as they sit here, not knowing what we said. But it's important to look at what that means on a more general sense, because we've discussed, like I said, what impact we've had in our lives, but it's important that if we break down the philosophical or deeper meaning behind that, then you'd be able to more clearly look at what impact your parents have in your life, what impact your grandparents or whatever family members, previous generations have in your life. What do you need to keep? What do you need to deal with? As we go throughout today, spending time with our parents, our grandparents, I think that's a beautiful analogy or a metaphor for what we're dealing with today. looking forward to.
It's a way lah. Alam ni. Have you seen the phone? Vincent. And like, oh, beautiful children of God. Thank you, coming. And it's a rain spider. And I'm looking at it and I say to myself, I don't want
to wave just here. On the negative side of things, there can obviously be a really negative impact that parents can have on their kids. Without getting too dark, there's the obvious intentional abuse that parents can cause, but that's not what we're covering. We're especially trying to look at unintended abuse. So, editor's note, when I say unintended abuse, I mean abuse or damage you cause in people's lives that you're not aware of. Or neglectful damage or neglectful abuse. So, yeah, anyway. For instance, dads who feel that they can't show love to their sons because that's feminine or something. Or mothers who baby their children. Mothers who raise their daughters in fear of the world. Mothers who raise their daughter in fear of accomplishing something in the world. There's so many unintended abuse, if you can put it like that happens. I don't know if abuse is the right word, but unintentional damage that is done because parents have a bad understanding of how to be there for their kids. But I want to get more specific, especially in regards to purpose and dreams. A lot of parents, especially parents who come from a place of disprivilege or a lack of privilege, really, whether it's like financial instability or stuff, they want to raise their kids to be financially stable. You will be a doctor.
Exactly.
You will be a lawyer.
Like, yeah, because of having experienced financial difficulties, they don't want their children to go the same route. So they rather be like, hey, why don't you become a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a social worker, or whatever, because it's easier.
And there's always a need for a doctor. There's always a need for a teacher.
There's always a need for that. So it's like it's easier to become that. But if you're not passionate about those sort of stuff, if those things are not you, it's gonna show in how you treat people in those situations. Or most people complain about how rude and how uncaring the nurses are, because nurses are supposed to nurse people into health, into better health. But in this case, even the sick feel like, you know, they're not treated right because they're sick, because they're in the hospital, because of that, because of that. It's because those people got in there for the money, because it's safety. It's a safety net. And
it's a source of income, not
exactly. If you're not passionate about people, if you're not passionate about nursing people, so it shows in the work that you do. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, if you are watching this and you feel your parents are the problems to your dreams, first of all, you can't be held back by your parents. So take this opportunity to speak to them. Help them, first of all, understand what it is your dream is, your purpose is, what it is you feel you're led to do. And if they still act like they're going to disassociate themselves from you if you follow this dream, then you need to get to a point where you do that. Because I'm of the opinion that who you're meant to be is the most important thing in your life. Who God calls you to be trumps anything else. So if someone holds you back from being that, to the point where they say, if you do this dream, we don't want to be in your life, then you have to take that step. There's very rare cases where you have to cut someone out of your life, but be careful now that you don't fall into a trap of stubbornness where you're like, no, okay, well, they don't get it, so I'm not going to do it. Listen to the wisdom of your parents and older people, but at the end of the day, your life is your responsibility. So if you don't feel comfortable with what they're telling you and you feel like it's not the truth, go find the answers for yourself. And as a parent, always listen to your children. It doesn't mean what they're going to say is true or even smart, but give them the opportunity to speak. Raise your kids in their purposes. That's what I can say about that.
We feel so blessed to have parents such as ours. I mean, parents don't always understand the routes you're taking, but because they trust and believe in you, they believe that you know what you're doing. That is all. Like, that is such good affirmation for a child.
Yeah.
That builds confidence and self-esteem to realize that, you know what, my parents have trusted me. My parents are in support of what I want to do.
Okay, we just remembered we have to wrap this video up. We just got home, but I hope we made clear, or at least started the conversation, got the wheels turning on what impact your parents have on your life and what impact you have or will have in the life of your kids, especially pertaining to their dreams and visions. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the role you play in that. We can't wait for this road trip to start. We're in talks with people. A car is a minute and a half away, but we'll keep you updated. Did someone say